We've got some
Hey,
fresh new
I'm
young
Luis.
talent
And
doing some
I'm
things that I
Luis.
know you haven't
And you're
heard
listening to the
before.
Content is Profit podcast.
Today's guest is the founder and CEO of Entire Productions, which has been in the Inc. 5000 list of fastest growing companies in America for 3 years in a row. Impressive.
Ooh, not only that, but she what's this? But she entrepreneurship.
She
studied entrepreneurship at the Harvard Business School and MIT.
Very impressive.
And check this out. She's a trained classical violinist and jazz vocalist. Oh, and did I mention that she is about to be published author as well? Ooh,
That's right. I forgot to
so
write a word
good.
in the intro
I
right there.
know. What is FONZI? What
But
is
guys,
that? We'll go.
the main point is that she is a total badass. Please welcome host of the Fascinating Entrepreneurs podcast, soon to be published author, the Relentless, Natasha Miller. Woohoo! What's up, Natasha?
Hey guys, oh my God, already so much fun. I've done a lot of podcasts, never with such energy and DJ like quality.
I
Thank
know
you.
it.
Appreciate it.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Coming from you, this
Yeah.
like it means actually like so much. So we really appreciate
I'm
it.
just saying this, Natasha. You know, when we knew you were coming, we're like, this is our test, right? We are right now trying out to be a part of Entire Production.
You're hired.
We got the strobe light. We got the DJ set with
Yeah.
the music.
Yeah.
We are good to go. Well, Natasha, for those who don't know you, I mean, I when FONZI told me that you were coming, I'm like, well, who's Natasha? And then he started telling me, and I'm like, this is so exciting. Stop telling me, because I really want to discover. I want to be like super surprised when we do the interview. So why don't you tell us a little bit like who you are? Obviously, very different, backstory to where you are now. Some very interesting, like how that happened.
Where do you want me to start? Like the very beginning or like
So that's, I mean, wherever you feel comfortable, right? But like
Yeah.
our, compared to like our story, obviously we came here to the States to college, right? We were
Yep.
both, for us, like our future title is like, from failed soccer players to, billionaire entrepreneurs, or I don't know, we'll figure out where we're going to end up. But, like, let's say college would be like a great starting point.
Okay.
And from there,
Sure. So I was in college. The first college I went to was University of Kansas, real exciting, on a classical violin scholarship. But you should probably know, this is a little more impactful, that a couple of years before I had my first year of college, I was 16 years old, classically trained violinist, studying with a professor at a college in high school. And I ended up at a homeless shelter on Christmas Day and have lived on my own ever since. So my getting into college or figuring that out by myself, not even with a counselor, figuring out how to audition and getting a full ride scholarship, right there is a super miracle.
Wow.
So that's actually kind of where my book starts and where the huge story evolves from.
Yeah. Wow.
I
We should change the headline. Just saying FONZI.
I know. Well, I didn't want to, because that's part of the headline in her book, and I didn't want to, kind of like ruin it. Take that headline and put it in the podcast. There's a few questions that come to mind.
Yeah.
That I would like to explore. I don't know if you're okay with it. If you're not okay with
No, let's do it.
this, please let me know, because I know it might have been a little bit personal. But the first is like, how did you end up in the in the shelter?
So I haven't been willing to talk about this up until a couple of years ago. And now I realize how important it is actually to say it out loud. So I grew up in a household where one of my parents was very abusive to me, both mentally, emotionally, a little bit physically. And I feared for my life every day that I was alive. And on that Christmas Day at 16, I finally, after being threatened that I was going to be killed, I called 911 again for the first time in my life. And that started a spiral of activity that led me to being taken to this homeless shelter for youth on Christmas Day, which was horrific, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
And so I had to grow up really fast. I became an adult really fast. I learned my rights really fast.
Nice.
Actually, not fast enough if you asked me back then, but um, the state of Iowa deemed me to be an emancipated child, even though we didn't have an official emancipation law. So I was on my own. I was an adult at 16 years old. Um, I got my first apartment after living with my grandmother for a little bit. And you guys know this, I hope, that when you rent an apartment, you have to put the electricity in your name and the gas and the lighting. And if you don't do that and you flip a switch, nothing's going to happen. Well, I
Yeah.
had no idea that you had to do any of that. So I got to this new apartment and I turned on the lights and I'm like, oh, shoot, the lights don't work. Well, they worked, but I just didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So, like I was gonna say
Are
that
you
that
guys
kind
fighting over who's going to ask me the next
yeah,
always.
we always do. We always fight about who's gonna talk more.
Always.
Uh,
Well, first of all, before you continue,
Alright.
I want to say thank you, right? Because it takes a lot of courage to share these stories, right? And you said that not until a couple of years ago you
Yeah.
decided to do this, and you know, with the people that we work with and the people that we've been fortunate to be in their worlds, helping them with publishing, that is one of the biggest hurdles, right? Like we have to like figure out, okay, what am I comfortable sharing these stories? Am I actually helping them, right? And I had a very similar story, right? And to me, it was very challenging. Start sharing those stories. There's some that still I don't go ahead and share. So that's why I feel you, understand you. I hear you. So thank you so much for sharing that. I can't wait for people to kind of dive deep in the book and see what lessons come out of it, right? So that was my comment.
My turn.
No.
All right, you know, Natasha, the other day I was reading this. I think it was like a sales letter. Honestly, one of the best sales letters I read in a long time. But they were talking about the power of transformational events. How if you wanted to change, right, from who you were to maybe, you know, develop a habit that you really want to do, you don't really need to do it for like 60 days. How like some people say, it's like you can actually do it pretty much immediately by having a transformational event, right? And obviously, this sounds like a transformational event in your life, right? I mean, imagine leaving home and becoming an adult at 16 when obviously we all know we're still kids at 16. So, how did that moment shape the before and after? Obviously, you said that you pretty much like lived in fear previously
Mhm.
to 16. And I'm guessing a little bit after 16, you like at 17, 18, 19, you probably still had a lot of worries, right? You were learning how to
Yeah.
be an adult. But I'm just wondering, how did that event shape who you have become now?
I didn't realize it at the time. I can really only look at it from hindsight, like looking behind. And I know this that I was looking for someone to quote unquote save me my whole life. Neighbors, family, teachers, anybody. I wanted them to see what was happening to me and then swoop in and save me. And that I wanted this beautiful, amazing life. And what I didn't realize then, and even later throughout life, I was still waiting to be saved by someone, right? An outside force. And it's not until recently that I realized that I ended up learning how to save myself. I didn't have a name for it at the
Mm.
time. I didn't identify that that's what I was doing, but I switched everything around, some gradually and some immediately, and I saved myself. And someone recently asked me what advice I would have given myself as a young person. And that advice that nobody's going to come save me.
Wow.
No one's going to do it. You have to figure out how to do it yourself. Would have been helpful. I'm not sure I would have been able to understand it and make that happen any
Mm.
faster than I did.
Yeah. I heard a comment a couple days ago. It's like whatever phase you're or whatever thing you're facing in your life or business at the moment, right? We sometimes we go out, ask ourselves like, well, what if I would have done that like a year ago? What happens if I would have started that like 1 year and 2 years? And then it's like, well, you were not the person, right? Like you were not ready 2 years ago. That's what you're starting right now, right? And to me, that brought a lot of peace, right?
Yeah.
For those that are finding their path, right, in what they're doing, right, obviously, what will be what would be that advice? Like, what are some of the things that they can start doing, right now to start recognizing those patterns or start recognizing the position they're in and be like,
Yeah.
okay, how can I close that gap to maybe move faster, gain momentum, start making things happen?
Oh, didn't you hear? Nobody's going to save you.
Well, other than
Yeah.
that, well, that's number
Yeah.
one.
I didn't have access at the time where I was in the United States. I was in the middle of America in Des Moines, Iowa. It was the mid 80s. So, we didn't have Oprah or Dr. Phil or help shows
Yeah.
like that. I didn't have access to the help and information that most people have now.
Mm.
So if I met myself today, right, and I met someone like me that could just kind of give you an overview of the abilities that you actually have inside, and if you don't own them currently, there is no barrier to entry anymore to getting the information to get to where you want to go. There's nothing.
Yeah.
But I would say to one up that, your access to information online, right? Blogs, podcasts, mentors, advisors, and actually taking classes in
Mm.
the thing that you want to do, whether it's personal development or whether it's entrepreneurship. Um, this is going to be the foundation for what I am going to end up teaching entrepreneurs that want to scale and grow. Learning, digging in, listening to people that have done it before you in the past, that's the shortcut. That's the shortcut.
Yeah.
Slogging through it on your own and trying to figure it out and thinking you're so cool and that you have this special secret sauce that nobody has, that is the long, hard road. There's some ego that's in there that feels good, but
Yeah.
I did that for 10 years before I started really getting educated in what I wanted to do with growing my business. And man, when I first started really learning from people that had done it before me, man, it was just skyrocket from there.
Wow, that's amazing. I love that. I mean, that perspective, we have it honestly like pretty easy, I would say nowadays. Any access to information. I do think though, like that could play a negative role as well in people's life, right? Access is so easy that maybe you're just like you just give take things for granted. Sometimes you're like, oh, okay, I got this advice from a multi-million dollar CEO, no big deal, let me look for the next thing, right? I think it's sometimes it's so easy that it's like maybe we lack the appreciation for it, right? When it wasn't that easy and you finally found somebody that will tell you something that impactful, that meant a lot, and you probably treasure that, right, and save it and keep it in your mind. So I think it's both positive and negative in some ways, like everything, honestly, I believe.
Right.
But I love your perspective, right? And obviously your story played a huge role in there, right? It wasn't probably until you met these mentors, and you said that you had a mentor that you went to college with, right, and study classical music, I guess. I listened to your songs. It is absolutely amazing, guys. Go check it out on Spotify. But can you tell us a little bit about that period of your life, right? Like, what did you learn through, classical music?
Mm.
And
Yeah.
what caused that change from, hey, I am, an artist to a business owner, which
Yeah.
is like an artist in its own way.
Yeah. So those are two things. So the first thing, what I learned when I was studying classical music was incredible discipline.
Mm.
So I was in the first violin section, which is like one of the lead positions. And I ultimately was concert master, which is the epitome of leadership in an orchestra. You're the first violin. Everyone has to do what you say. It sounds powerful and wonderful, but it's terrifying,
Okay.
especially for a young person, right? Who, everyone has the syndrome of being an imposter, but put a very young person who's not treated well at home in that position of concert master. Literally, when I got the word of that appointment, I went home and cried. I was terrified. But the
Wow.
discipline of practicing your violin, scales, arpeggios, concertos for 6 to 8 hours a day, I think that really set me up for great success as a business person, right now. Although I don't do 6 to 8 hours of practice of anything anymore a day.
Yeah. So we dabbled in music a little bit. Um,
Definitely not the 6 to 8 hours.
No,
a
the
day.
thing, so our house was divided, right? Like our mom was like, she sings and she plays the guitar and plays instruments. She always wanted us to go that route, right? And then our dad was soccer, and that's where we chose to do, right? And it was very divided, right? Athletics and music, and you develop like different parts of your brain. And we dove into soccer like full time, right? And that was the thing that got us here. Now, with soccer as an athlete, right? We've talked to a lot of athletes, a lot of people from the military, right? And a lot of the things that they say to is that discipline, right? The practice, the day to day, right? Maybe not 6 hours, but you're doing this, 2 or 3 hours a day. Maybe your rehab, a lot of mental strength, a lot of inner work. And then this happened to me personally, right? And I'll ask the question, like, see if it did happen to you. But when we transition to the business side of things, all of a sudden it's like we forgot part of that. Right. And even though like we were used to it, right? We're like,
it doesn't always transfer.
Okay.
It doesn't always transfer from the thing you were disciplined and excellent at to the next thing. Some of it does, but what you're getting at, I'm actually experiencing right now. So I have a core business that's very successful. It's a multi-million-dollar business. And I'm starting another business to teach entrepreneurs how to scale and grow their business and automate and delegate. And guess what I'm having trouble with doing? Delegating. I'm like, what is your problem? So I'm a master of delegation at my core business, and I need to get my together.
Why do you think that is? Like, I'm very interested, right? Because I found certain things that similar scenario, right? Like we do the content and we do the distribution and we do massive distribution on our end. And then we're like, hey, you got to find these VAs. And that's the friction that we encounter, like in our own content production side of things, right? And it's funny, and we've found different solutions here and there, but at the same time, it's a lot of friction. And FONZI is laughing because it's 100% true. So why do you think that is?
Which one of you is older than the other?
That's a top secret.
You gotta take a guess.
Top secret. Yeah, we'll let the audience vote.
Okay. So wait, I'm sorry. What was the question? Oh, why do I think that is? Okay, this is my theory, which I'm making up right now on the spot. I am cutting my teeth on new systems and procedures and processes, new way of thinking. It's a new product. It's a new service. And my groove hasn't been carved yet, right? Because it is fairly new. Because I'm trying to make it into a system for people. So everything in entire productions, my core company, is systematized. I've had it for 20 years. It's like my 20-year-old child. Now I have an infant. And when I had my 20-year-old child 20 years ago, things were one way and now they're different. So when you have a child, I can't believe I'm liking this to a human. 20 years later, the strollers are better, right? The food and oh gosh, I'm not going to go there. Anyway, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff improved, right?
Yeah.
And then you have to relearn that. So it's a mental exercise. And I actually think it's happening for a reason, and for me to parlay to my potential clients and students. Like I'm living a case study that I will overcome and then be able to write about and talk about and teach. This is what happened to me. This may be something that will happen to you.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. And I was laughing before because when you talk about like delegating, my mind, I was like, this is the perfect time for a commercial break. If you need to delegate your content creation and content multiplication of your podcast, hey, make sure to slide into the BIZBROS DMs at BIZBROS on Facebook, on Instagram. Look at that. Look at that. Back to regular
programming. Yeah.
That wasn't planned. That was beautifully organic.
I appreciate it.
Natasha, you said something like really, really important there, right? Like you're tackling this challenge as a journey, right? And then you're like, okay, this is going to become an asset in the future. And a lot of people ignore that. Like, have you tackled your challenges like that from the very beginning? Or, do you recognize the moment when you were like, this is going to be an asset? Like we see it.
I do now.
You do now? Okay.
I did not do it 10 years ago, I wouldn't have been able to identify that. Now, anytime I come up to a speed bump or a challenge, I think, um, I don't want to rush the journey, the experience, because I might miss out on things.
Mm.
But I typically think, oh, okay, here's the speed bump. Here's this challenge. Here are the things that I'm going to do to overcome it. Okay, that didn't work. Okay, this worked. Okay, now I'm over that bump. Now, what am I going to do with it? It's kind of similar to what you guys do with content amplification. I write about it. I'll create an infographic. I'll share it. I'll teach it. And I'll give you an example. I just sang the national anthem for the San Francisco Giants at AT&T Park for 37,000 people.
Wow.
Let's go.
That's epic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A cappella with a 2-second delay, which if you're a musician, which it sounds like you guys are to an extent, you'll understand how difficult it is to do anything with a 2-second delay.
Oh, yeah.
And I did it, and I've done it before at major sporting events, but I haven't done it recently.
Mm.
And when that call came in, before I had a panic attack and said no, I said yes so fast, so I couldn't change my mind.
Yeah.
And then I wrote an article about it afterward for Inc. magazine. 7 reasons to do what scares you. And so look at that. I'm turning every learning experience
Heck yeah.
into something else and then something else and something. So I'm amplifying it. Now, I don't look forward to challenges. You hear a lot of entrepreneurs saying, you've got to fail. You've got to fail. Like failure is amazing. I look forward to failing. I don't know if that's possible. But when it starts to happen, I'm like, okay, just ride the wave
Yeah.
and make something of it.
Yeah. Thank you for the transparency right there. Because, yeah, I think a lot of people are like, well, everybody's saying this. I have to fall in love with like failing, right? And just so you know, on your 2-second delay, we've done the podcast with a 2-second delay, and it was a total disaster.
Total disaster.
Yeah. So that is not an easy feat, guys. By the way, is that video in YouTube? Can we find it?
Yes, it is.
All right, we're definitely gonna find it and make a note right there. We're gonna put it in the in the comment section.
Yeah. Natasha, as you continue explaining these stories, like you're my new angel here, because I relate a lot, like the failure things, right? Like, and then we hear all these comments like we do need to fail, and it happens, like it will happen, but I personally feel it sucks. The when it happens, I'm like, this is not my favorite feeling. But then we're like, okay, we're in this thing, we gotta overcome it. And then, but I love the fact that that you turn every situation into an asset, right? And this is a lesson for the listener. If you're publishing, right? There's so many people that are so scared to put their message out there. There's different ways that you can do it as well, or to find stories. That's probably the number one question that we get. We're trying to create consistently, right? Like, what do I talk about? Well, there's things happening every single second to you or around you that you can grab those situations, and there's gonna be a lesson that you can always relate to your business, right? Always. So thank you for being that live example to us and sharing kind of like what your framework was with that specific challenge.
Yeah, I'm pretty curious about now talking about these challenges, right? I'm sure you faced a lot trying to build entire productions, right? Can you share a little bit about that journey, right? How did it go from, maybe an idea to Inc. 5000, fastest growing company in America for 3 years in a row?
I started the company accidentally, like a lot of entrepreneurs do, actually. I thought I was special, but it turns out that a lot of successful entrepreneurs actually just fell into whatever it was doing. So I was gigging as a vocalist and a jazz violinist. I'm sorry, as a jazz vocalist and a classical violinist. I can't do the crossover. Anyway, and I was getting booked so many times in one night. And obviously, I can't be at 4 different events. So I started telling my clients, I'm not available, but I can bring in another group that's as good as I am, probably better. I'll manage them. So loosely, I had already started entire productions. I wasn't paying taxes. Sorry, IRS. And I didn't have a business certificate license. But slowly, in about 2000, 2001, I decided to name a company and start doing this. Now, this is a really interesting thing. I have gone from a lifestyle business that I didn't really ever intend to build to this international global corporation that has scaled and grown in the multi-millions and profitable. That is a huge arc. And I never thought that I would have a business as big as I do. I didn't want one. I didn't plan it. I didn't think I could handle it. It wasn't even in the crystal ball. Like it wasn't even something that I was like, oh, I could have that someday. Oh, I don't want to. It just never occurred to me.
Yeah.
About 2009, I rebranded and relaunched, and I still was what they call a lifestyle business. So it was solopreneur, no employees,
Mm.
making a modest living, pretty good living, but nothing over the top. It was a lifestyle living. It paid for my life, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't create jobs for other people. It didn't increase, it didn't create a huge profit margin. But then in 2015, I took a class that was free to take, and it was about a $90,000 value class. It's the NKSB at Babson College.
Wait, Natasha. Sorry. You're gonna have to repeat that one more time because literally when you were about to say the name of the class, we got a little lag in there.
Okay, Goldman Sachs,
Yeah.
10K SB, and that stands for 10,000 Small Businesses. You
Mm.
can still apply for it now. And it was basically an entrepreneurial master's class. And the year following that, my business grew by 65%.
Wow.
Not because I took the class, but because I took the class and I put everything else away. I had other people that were my employees working day to day in the business, and I really focused. I was incredibly just driven, and I took the information I received. And here's the key, people. The shortcut is do the learning, but you then have to take action with what you've learned, right? You can't just
Yep.
hear it and then expect for everything to come together.
Natasha, sounds like you read the Instagram post that I did yesterday.
I
I'm not
didn't, but
kidding.
I should have.
I literally typed this quote that I read in a book, and the quote was, "Those who do the job, those who do the work, are the ones that do the learning." And I was like, "Oh man, that is so cool!" Because just like you're saying, like the best way to learn is not like sit down and do it, but like you actually gotta do the work.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've been like very turned off into consuming information and then like doing it. Like it to me, like my head is like, let me actually do the thing like at least once, and that's gonna stick very quickly. And we go back to what you were saying about the new process and new systems. And I'm gonna call myself out. I'm the integrator, I guess. FONZI is very creative and the great thoughts, and we work very differently mentally, right? But at the same time, it's like towards that objective, and I love it. And through the story that you were sharing right now, it looks like there were some personal or internal beliefs that you had to overcome, right? And sometimes we don't see them when they're in front of us, right? We're like, it just happens, right? And maybe it's a little voice in our heads that continue to repeat that phrase. You mentioned that you were scared, that you didn't want a big business, right? Like what? Like why? And then why? More importantly, why do you actually pursue the thing? Like why you kept going, right? Because if you didn't want it, why don't stop?
I think where I came from, both the city and the state, it's not like a super overachieving place. It's not where, listen, people aren't flocking to the Midwest for a reason, right? They're all going to the coasts if they have huge ambitions. Not to say you can't have ambition in the Midwest, but I didn't know anybody that had businesses like I have now. I didn't see, there's no one modeling it for me. And when I finally got to that 10K SB course, I was like, oh, I think I was maybe at 1.5 million. Then the thought, because I was surrounded by 32 other people, one person had a $30 million business, and I was helping them with elements of what we were learning. So I saw myself impacting somebody with a $30 million business. And I'm like, oh, Yeah. So my goal then got set to 20 million in revenue.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
and now I realize, like with this book that I'm writing, right? Or it's written, but I'm publishing. Most authors only sell 250 copies of their book in a lifetime. So, everybody and their mother has written a book, right? Some are self published, some are hybrid, some are professionally published, and they use them as business cards, and that's totally cool. Well, I put a goal down on a piece of paper. I want to sell at least 25,000 books. That's
Yeah.
a lot of books for someone like me. Even though I have a pretty big platform, it's still a big thing. And then I thought to myself, what's your big, hairy, audacious goal? What's a number that would be like, that's crazy. That's never going to happen. That's 500,000 for me.
Hmm.
And, again, that is a ridiculous number, but I'm still saying it out loud and I'm still
Yeah.
putting it out there. Now, would I have done that 20 years ago? No way.
Wow.
We go back to probably you weren't the person that was ready to tackle that challenge, right?
I wasn't.
I love it. I love it.
That's very exciting. Just so you know, you got 2 copies sold right here. So
Yeah.
499,998 left to go.
Yes.
But
You're quite the mathmatician there. That was very
I know.
good math.
appreciate it. Our,
Wait,
our mom is a
do we do-
math teacher.
So we do public math now?
Public math
Okay.
now.
Okay.
Natasha, I'm gonna give you right now a PR stint, I guess it's called that. I'm not sure.
Stint?
I think that's a word. I'm not
Stunt.
sure. A stunt, maybe. I
I'll
don't know.
let you know what it is when I hear it.
Yeah.
All right, Natasha, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna book you in every single NFL game for you to sing the national anthem. And right at the end, when you're done, you're like, "Thank you. Don't forget to buy my book." Shameless plug. And that's it. You're gonna be tackling so
Dude,
many.
I would do that one time and never be asked back for any national anthem.
So that's a great way if you never ever want to do an NFL game ever again. By the way, you're like, you should come to Jacksonville. We have pools in the stadium, bigger screens. You just come and hang out.
Yeah, don't listen to me, definitely.
Yeah, scratch that idea. No, Natasha, I thank you, by the way, for sharing the story. I'm so excited. By the way, we're going to leave all the links right below. So if you're listening right now, scroll down, click everything, and go follow. We'll ask you in a second where to find you, what's the best way. But I'm really curious on, obviously you're gonna publish the book, right? You've been out in the podcast circuits, right? You've been publishing for a while, putting your stories out there. What has been the biggest challenge for you? It could be at the beginning, it could be now. Like, what is something that really are like, oh man, that was a really, really crazy challenge that I'm overcoming right now?
So in writing the book, there's so many intricacies and pathways in a very archaic publishing industry. So I spent 2 years as what I like to refer to myself as a professional publishing researcher, because I wanted to figure out the best situation for myself. And now I'm an expert, I feel, in that. And then with podcasting, actually, I had this thought today. I started my podcast in January of this year. And you would think that because I don't have any fear of public speaking, I've recorded 7 CDs, right, and performed all over. I have no fear of interviewing people. It took me a few months after thinking I was going to do it to actually do it. I did feel that imposter syndrome. And I kept saying, what the heck is wrong with me? Again, like I didn't borrow from that life of being fearless and then just throw something out. And then I was like, screw it, I'm doing it. So I started ugly. And I really like to encourage people to do that where it's appropriate, right? So I started the podcast. Now, was it really ugly? Not really. If you listen to my first episode, I'm still proud of that. Have I improved over the last 8, 9, 10, 11 months? Absolutely. But I'm still proud of it. But here's what the thing is. The graphics were okay. They were fine. But as you saw earlier, I rebranded and I started ugly. And now I'm fine tuning to like amazing.
Yeah.
And I may fine tune again. But if you go to fascinatingentrepreneurs.com, you'll see the new brand. And if you go to my Instagram, Natasha Miller SF, and scroll through, you'll see the old brand. It's pretty major change,
Contrasty.
Contrast.
but I did it instead of waiting
Yes.
for perfection.
Yep.
Yes.
So I think, I used to hear the words imposter syndrome and think, that's not me. And I'm like, wait a minute. It actually is from time to time still.
Yeah, and I think that answer like never really like changes.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, well, we talked about it earlier, right? Taking action is really what's gonna separate you from something else, and that's why we feel so passionate about podcasting. Like we've been doing it 3 times a week for a while now, and it's like we're still like freaking out like 5 minutes before the interview. Like it does happen, right? We're like, oh my gosh, like this person. And at the end of the day, it's like it's that challenge that continues to push forward. But at the end of the day, so much benefit, like from learning to connecting to the relationship to having your own platform, publishing at the very beginning all the content that goes out, and then the stories that we mentioned earlier also with you that could serve as an asset for the people that are coming right after us. So thank you for showing, thank you for jumping and doing and creating your own show, your own platform to continue to grow. I can't wait to see what the next 20 years are gonna feel like.
I actually remember a video that we watched a few months ago, if not a few years ago. My timelines are a little skewed
for
sometimes.
a few months to a few years.
But it was this billionaire that gave a TED talk, and he was talking how he still, gets imposter syndrome, and I was like, wow,
that's the Australian.
I was like, that's crazy, right? Like somebody that has achieved, whatever levels of success you can imagine, right?
Yeah.
Just like you. It's like still getting that imposter syndrome feeling. It's crazy. And then I remember also listening to a podcast of Seth Godin, and he liked to define imposter syndrome as the feeling that you get when you're about to face something amazing, right? It's like, it's that moment that on the other side there's something great, right?
Yeah,
so
you push through.
Yeah, it's like
push
an
through and
indicator.
actually do it. So
Mhm.
a couple weeks ago, I interviewed John Lee Dumas on
Nice.
my podcast, and he had only 15 minutes. And I usually take about a half hour to 45 minutes to talk to my guests. And I was like, well, Jesus, I have so many things to ask him. If he's only got 15 minutes for me, I'm going to fire at him like nuts.
Yeah.
And, he's got a $2 million podcast, right? That he publishes his P&L. And I thought for a minute, well, is he going to think that I'm an okay podcast interviewer? And as we got into it, I'm like, you know what? Sorry, John Lee, but we're there. He has many more years of experience. He's a lot more revenue.
Yeah.
But that interview, I feel, is just as good as his.
Yeah, absolutely. I love John Lee Dumas, but I'm going to be honest right here. John, I'm sorry. It's not my favorite podcast. I've listened to it here and there, and it's good. But Natasha, I can see it. I can see yours being way better and surpassing him. But yeah, no hate to John Lee Dumas. Actually, I like the guy. He's really cool.
Natasha, a lot of people that build their own platforms, right? They start because they're passionate about the topic. They're passionate about connecting with people, relationships, right? And then some of the friction and the struggles that we've seen is they fail to connect that content with like the profit side of things, right? So that's a question we like to ask, like how and if it's something where you're not allowed to kind of like express, that's fine, but like how do you connect your content into that profit, right? What's your plan? Are you doing something right now? Is this connected to the book? Like what are you doing?
Yeah, so the podcast is part of a flywheel of all my new endeavors. So I have the podcast, the book coming out, the course that I'm creating for entrepreneurs to scale and grow their businesses, which will lead into a paid community and lead to a 1% mastermind. So it's all connected. I'm not monetizing the podcast right now for sponsorships. Will I do that in the future? Probably, but to a certain extent, because I've heard these podcasts that are heavily sponsored and it's like 10 minutes of ads at the beginning. Like, let's get to it, please. And I don't want to do that to my listener, right?
Yeah.
But I know that with the book, let's say if I sell 25,000 books, right, at anywhere from $9.95 to $16.95, whether it's a paperback or a hard book, I'll make some money. But the real money that I'm looking forward to creating with both the podcast and the book
Mm.
is speaking at, keynote speaking. I don't want to make a huge career of it. That's not all I want to do. But, 8 to 10 speaking engagements at like $30,000 a pop, that's what I'm going for.
Yeah.
I love it.
And that's what you will get.
Yes.
That's happening. It was exclusive here
know.
in Contents Profit.
I
Just
can,
putting that out.
I can see like the glints of discipline in your eye. Kind of like going back to those violin days. So
Yeah.
you're like, I'm extremely disciplined. I'm gonna make this happen. I can see that right now.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing full transparency too, like what
Yeah.
that strategy is, because we've seen that not many like people are open to share that, right? And
Maybe it's because they don't have a strategy,
or maybe because they don't
Yeah.
have the BIZBROS asking them, hey, but here's the thing, like when you said like speaking, right, like one of the things that we continue to like harp on the show and with the people that tune in is the possibilities of having this platform. For example, we were in Montana 2 weeks ago emceeing a 3-day event, and it came because of the show, and we never ever thought that we were the two guys that were gonna MC an event in Montana. Right,
Yeah.
crazy. But opportunities happen. They do happen, and we have to keep our eyes open.
Right,
And
they wouldn't have known about you had you not had your podcast. And honestly, you guys are incredibly smart, very entertaining. You have your digital platform and all of the correct stuff. Like, yes, you're going to get better, but you're really at a really high level now. And of course, somebody's going to ask you to MC their event, right? It does,
well, apparently,
but they wouldn't have been able to know who you were to ask if you didn't put yourself out there.
That's true.
Yeah, and
Thank you,
Natasha. And hopefully, if you're listening, please go ahead, publish. Like things are gonna happen. They're gonna fall into place. Natasha, what's a good action point for entrepreneurs, right? To get that momentum going. You've delegated a team. You're building like a new system, new processes. You're launching a book. Like, what is something that somebody that's maybe like at that starting point, right? Like 6 figures. Like, let's figure this thing out. Like, I really want to start hiring. What is something that they can do today to get that momentum going?
So they already have 6 figures, or they're going to 6 figures?
They're going to 6 figures, and maybe they just did the transition. They're starting to publish, right? They're using publishing as a tool to leverage and doing these things.
I mean, you guys are doing this with your business, and I need to talk to you guys to see how we can work together. But right now, when I publish an episode, we are transcribing it. We are creating a blog post. We're pulling out the top 3 or 5 takeaways. We're putting it on LinkedIn. We're not really spraying and praying, because we're not putting it out there to places that aren't relevant. But you've got to get in front of the audience that you're going for, and you really should probably know the right audience. Like, don't be like, I'm not going to be trying to talk to mothers that just had a baby that have never had a business, right? Wrong audience.
Yep.
Right. But
Mhm.
so I've really delineated and figured out who exactly I'm talking to, and everything that I do goes into that bracket. So I'm not wasting any time and energy on people that aren't that won't buy my stuff in the future,
Yes.
and that won't understand my stuff.
Yeah.
I love it.
I want to highlight like that, what you said. I'm not gonna go where people are not gonna buy my stuff, right? It's not I'm gonna convince the people to buy my stuff. No. It's I'm not gonna go buy the people that are not gonna buy the stuff. I'm gonna go to the people that actually can. So that's so important. So thank you for bringing that out, because when we talk selling, we think convincing. I need to convince that person that this is the best thing. There's people in the marketplace that are ready to consume and are ready to purchase the thing that you're offering today. So thank you, Natasha, for bringing that up.
I have a second action point. Go to officialnatashamiller.com/book. And don't forget to hit the button that says get notified, so you know when Natasha drops a book.
Yeah. Other than that link, Natasha, where can people connect with you? What's the best location?
Okay, so that's a brand new website. I built it for you. I built it for entrepreneurs that are scaling and growing their businesses. It's amazing. I had great help by a company called NGNG, which is No Guts, No Glory. And really, I'm going to be putting out content and notifications about the podcast and the book. You know what? Not the book, but the books that I'm going to write in the future. There's already a couple more kind of in the works. And that's really the hub for me. I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter. But I would love it if you would like put that in your, wherever you're looking, your phone, your watch, I don't know, officialnatashamiller.com. I'm really proud of it and very excited for this new phase of my life.
Yeah, and rightfully so. I just went to the website today to the new website because I remember the first time we talked, you had the old website. And I was like, oh, this one is so sweet. And I absolutely love everything from how it looks to the copy to the fact that you already got all in there, the speaking, podcast, and book. Just what you shared about today.
Somebody just said that is the speaker, like event planner for a global organization. She saw my speaking page and she said, I look at speaker pages all day long. This is one of the best I've ever seen.
Yes.
Wow.
Oh, deep sigh of relief.
I'm just gonna
good job, NG.
Yeah.
Good job.
We're by the way, full disclosure, we might model that one.
Go for it. Take it.
Us.
Take it all.
Thank you, Natasha. Anything else you want to add before we head out?
I think we really covered it all. And you guys, I will have to say, you're such great hosts that I don't have more to say at the end because you really did cover it all. So I appreciate you very much and look forward to working with you, not only on amplifying my content, but maybe at a live event sometime.
Oh, that would be so fun.
How epic would that be? I'm gonna, dare to dream.
Dream zone
right now.
Dream zone time.
It is 2022, right? It's a little chilly outside. People are at the doors. They're like, we want to go in. We want to see Natasha. People rush into the stage, right? And they're like,
not that fast though. We gotta have it calm.
All of a sudden, lights on the stage. The two brothers come out and they are the MCs of the event. They got everybody dancing salsa, ready to have Natasha come on the stage. And Natasha, you step into the stage and just fire comes out, just like right, and people are just like going.
I'm not going to step out on stage. I'm going to fly onto the stage.
Yes, let's go.
That's right. You like 10x that vision. I love it, Natasha.
Yeah,
it was great having you here. Thank you so much for everything.
You guys are the best.
Thank you, Natasha. Well, with that said, guys, thank you so much for tuning into the Contents Profit Podcast. Go ahead and follow the show on your favorite platform and on social media at BIZBROS Co.
That is right. If Natasha here helped you move one step closer to your goal, please don't forget to share this episode with 3 friends and leave a 5-star review. See ya.
Bye, guys.